Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Scribe, and today we're gonna do a tale through the Looking Glass. I only have a day and 18 hours, so we're gonna try and do as much as we can right now, and then finish later. Whatever we don't finish. Why is no one paying attention to me? Don't miss out. Novelist ZZZ has come from distant lands to bring you a unique storytelling experience. Sick of the same old routine and craving something fresh? Don't want to just be a quiet reader anymore? Why not take the reins and give it a shot? A whole new vibe, a whole new plot, and most importantly, let's create something one of a kind together. Hey there. Oh, dear guest, want to jump into my new narrative experience? But hold up, I should say I'm not a new customer anymore, so I can't help you with any discounts. I'm not looking for someone to help me get discounts. Oh, so that's not what you're after. Sorry, I think I'm getting a bit paranoid. It's just because I've been here forever. But the few folks who came up to me either wanted me to help them sign up as new users for discounts or just handed me flyers. It's kind of weird. Do people really not like my ideas, or are they just getting bored with stories? I love stories. You like stories? That's awesome. You must be excited for stories written in novel ways, right? You know, how a story is told is critical, and that's what makes it different from just an event. Even the same event can feel totally different if you switch up the order. What I want to get you involved in is a story written in a totally new way, which I call interactive storytelling. I kick things off with the beginning, and then you get to choose how it goes, which might even change the whole story. Sounds kind of familiar? Does it? You might think it's like a game, but I see some differences. The big thing is, my story is all about the words. But honestly, I've picked up a lot from games. If literature can influence games and movies, why can't it be influenced by them too? I mean, yeah, he's got a point. So yeah, I'm a novelist, but my book sales are about as empty as my pen name. I've realized my stories might not grab people because they don't have enough reader, or should I say, co-author input. So I thought, what if I let readers actually be real authors? Not just interpreting my words, but really getting into the writing process. That's why I stepped out of my comfort zone to find partners. That's a nice way to put it, but you just want inspiration, right? Haha. If that's how you want to see it, sure. But I really think stories created this way won't just be mine. I'm here to make something different. By the way, have you heard of Wi-Fi Peninsula? Yeah, I've heard of it. I come from the Wi-Fi Peninsula, and honestly, it's a killer spot for novelists. There's so much contrast, up and down, inside and out, clean and messy. It's got busy streets, an empty escape from reality, and something unique. Sounds like a cool place. Aha, it's definitely a magnet for visitors, but it's just me. It's just my everyday life. I wanted something different, so I left my hometown looking for new ideas. You could say, if you want to check out new stories and experiences, and experience a different life, go explore other places. I think Wi-Fi Peninsula could be a solid choice for you, if I get the chance. Anyway, I blabbed on just to invite you to help me finish the story. The title is A Tale Through the Looking Glass, which sounds kind of mysterious, right? Does it spark your interest? There's a saying that the author is dead, and isn't that an invite for readers to jump in? So how about joining my story and helping me wrap it up, turning it into our story? Very well. Alright, a tale through the looking glass. Blooming reflections. Make a choice. Traveling alone is convenient, yet lonely. Loneliness is inevitable. However, you are fortunate as along your journey you meet a kindred spirit, sharing the same goal and similar aspirations. You ultimately decide to walk this path together, and this companion is. Let's see. Ooh, I'll go with Miyabi. A girl with fox ears is good in every way except for her tendency to drift off into daydreams. She is highly skilled in combat, yet often remains in a state of emptiness that she calls training. What exactly is training? According to her, it's both a resistance to life and an acceptance of it. Through this profound practice, she tirelessly hones her soul. With the companion by your side, the once lonely journey starts to take a new meaning, as if a voice is whispering in your ear more than the treasure at the end. The journey itself is becoming what truly matters. Do you have some book spirit companions who do not belong in this realm? Drifting between the texts of stories, they aid you in overcoming perils in your journey. Possessing attributes that counter enemies in battle, they can compel defeated foes to surrender even greater treasures, willingly, of course. In this battle, using electric book spirits will grant you additional rewards.
Awaiting further instructions.
Alright.
We fighting? Let's fight. Take it. I've got your. I am standing by.
I'll go with Ambi. This one requires a fire one. I'll go with that one. Stun specialty.
Only the brave will win. Awaiting.
I'm at your disposal.
Yeah. Thus, you and your companions press forward, supporting each other as you draw ever closer to the mysterious treasure trove. One day, your companion points toward a billowing sea of clouds in the distance and shares a theory. Perhaps that is the legendary place spoken of in myths. The guess is not without merit. Investigating seems the logical course of action. However, no matter how hard you push forward, the sea of clouds remains just out of reach. The thick mist gradually engulfs you, and when you finally regain your senses, you find yourself standing at a three-pronged crossroad. You choose. I'm gonna choose the middle road. The road stretches ahead, but it isn't long before you encounter an obstacle. With crimson eyes and fluffy fur, you've come across a somewhat dangerous-looking wolf timer. Just as your companion steps in front, trying to protect you, he takes the initiative to show goodwill, easing your suspicions. As you sip the tea he prepared, you can't help but marvel at how luxurious the life of a wealthy household must be. Despite encountering some unforeseen troubles, it seems everything turned out fine in the end. Maybe that's what a journey is all about. You can't predict where each decision will take you. And what seems like a catastrophe might just be a miracle in disguise. Alright, so here's another one. Ice.
We fighting? This is the path I follow.
Ether.
Wanna cook? Is something the matter?
And then anomaly.
We fighting? Let's fire it up.
You push forward through the dense fog, struggling against its grasp, until at last a flickering light emerges in the distance. It turns out to be a modest inn, its exterior worn and tattered, yet standing as the only refuge in this desolate land. Stepping inside the fragile-looking structure, you and your companion find yourselves face to face with the innkeeper, a man feigning illness to slack off, a tough-looking bear, or a woman floating in the air. I'd say a woman floating in the air. She seems to be cooking a bizarre dish and enthusiastically invites you and your companion to try it. You take one look at the writhing, bubbling contents of the pot and politely decline. However, she regretfully informs you that if you don't want to eat her cooking, there's no other food available. Wait, is she the cook here? Looks like your stomach is in for some trouble. Weary from the journey, you finally settle in at an inn and start chatting with the innkeeper. When you mention your destination, a thoughtful look crosses their face, and then, with surprising candor, they reveal to you that they know something about the place of treasure you seek. Grateful for this valuable information, you thank them repeatedly. It's decided now. One night of rest, then you'll continue onward. Alright, here we go. Electric.
Let's take a deep asset numbers looking. I've got your back.
And then this one,
We
ice.
fighting? Want a glass of
I shall please forgive me for stealing the moonlight.
And then finally someone
Only
with the
the brave
attack
will.
specialty.
Let's be anticipation. I'll protect you from any danger.
Blooming reflections. After a night of deep slumber, you are abruptly awakened at dawn. Urgently, your companion urges you to gather your belongings and leave at once. This place is riddled with eerie anomalies, making it unwise to linger. Rest has sharpened your weary mind, and as wakefulness fully takes hold, you begin to notice the unsettling details that escape you the night before. The strangest thing of all is, there are no other guests in the inn. The innkeeper is constantly eating. The floor is spotless. That's right, there's no one else. The inn remains unsettlingly silent, with only the sounds of you and your companion breaking the hollow's silence. Even in such a remote wilderness, it shouldn't be completely devoid of life, should it? But, should you listen to your companion and leave the inn at once? You've already spent a night here, and nothing unusual has happened. Could your worries be unfounded? Besides, if you stay and talk a little more with the innkeeper, you might get more info about this treasure. You hesitate. This isn't greed. No, definitely not. You simply want that treasure too much. It could change everything and help you fulfill a long-lost wish. Besides, this isn't a reckless gamble. You have your reasons, and yet you can't shake the unease lingering in your chest. A fire book spirit.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Then we got ether.
Only the brave. Let's take a deep breath. The spotlight's about to shine.
Last one is the stun
I
specialty.
am the good day, Prox.
I'm here, so we're good.
Chapter 5. How many of these are there? Oh, we're almost done. Just as you hesitate, you feel a sudden rush of water surging beneath her feet. At first, you dismiss it as a mere leak from the inn's state of disrepair, but something is wrong. The water level is rising unnaturally fast, already threatening to submerge you and your companion up to the waist. In a desperate bid to steady yourself, your hand instinctively grabs onto something nearby. Looking down, you realize you picked up leaky leather pouch, expired emergency rations, tattered wooden plank. I'm gonna get the plank. If I accidentally grab that, that just means we'll probably be able to float on top of the water. A wooden plank could have kept you afloat, but a broken one is clearly unfit for such a daunting task. You tried several times to lie on it, but it seemed to need rescuing more than you did. Left with no choice, you abandoned the plank and hurried to find the exit. Damn. The item you managed to grab turns out to be worthless. Still, driven by sheer determination, you swim your way out of the inn before you can even make a sense of what's outside. Before you can check if your companion is safe and sound, a powerful wave crashes over you and wakes you up. You sit up and look out through Through the half-open window, the outside world comes into focus. The innkeeper is cleaning, pouring out a bucket of water over the overgrown weeds in the courtyard. The murky water floods a small clump of earth nearby, an anthill. Could it be? For some unexplainable reason, your soul momentarily wanders into that anthill. This thought momentarily calms your restless heart. You shake it off and call for your companion. Time to keep moving and press forward toward the mines. And then, a damp sensation spreads beneath your feet. Your heart skips a beat. Looking down, a thin trickle of water is forming next to your feet. I need a nice book spirit.
I am the eye. Good day. Is it work time? Is food included?
And then fire.
We fighting? Want a glass of... Take it. I've got...
Wanna see the Reds? Need something?
Which alien? One. Hey,
Oh, I have
don't look
another
down
one.
on me.
And then anomaly.
Only the... Let's be into...
Please.
Good day, Lord Phaeton.
Alright. I think that was everything. Look for the suspicious man. So, what do you think? Ready to help me finish our story? I think I gotta wait for these. Collection hour is 3 hours. Hold up, how much time do I have for this event? Alright, it says a day and 18 hours. So, I'm still close. We still have time. And I've gotten pretty much everything done that I needed to. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell button to be notified on any future updates. And I will see you guys later. I guess I finished it in one shot. But I'll definitely come back for the rewards later. Alright, take care guys. This is the Scribe signing out.